centuries, long before the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves. There was some serious resistance when the occupiers from the West came to Africa, contrary to what some might think. They didn't just give up their children, but the fighting began long before slavery. And the resistance was those who led them, the majority of them, their heads, as we speak today, are sitting in jars in Europe. Are you aware of that? Our leaders, our ancestors who fought the wars of resistance, their heads, their remains are sitting in jars throughout Europe. And the same people have the audacity to come to Africa and talk to us about human rights. But what's even more disturbing is that we entertain them and we don't remind them of these skeletons in their closet. As we speak today, the priceless artifacts that they stole from all over Africa are sitting in their museums throughout Europe. And when you and I, when we visit Europe, we pay to see what belongs to us. Evidence of theft, evidence of murder on display in plain sight. As we speak today, black people are listed as 3/5 of a human being in the US Constitution. As we speak today, the redlining continues. As we speak today, African countries are being made to pay ridiculous interest rates on loans that they should not be paying for. Correct. As we speak today, reparations are due. Everybody else has been given reparations, expect us. The question then becomes, what is wrong with this picture? Why aren't you and I standing up and demanding that what is right must be done? I can tell you why. Because no other race would stand for a minute what is being done to us. How long do you think a finger of a British soldier lasts in Zimbabwe? How long do you think a thumb of a German soldier lasts in Namibia? Not even a minute. They would storm in, kill hundreds, if not thousands of people just to recover that one finger. Why is it that we are unable to come together and speak our truth and demand that what needs to be done must be done? It's because they defeated us where it matters the most, which is the mind. It started with the missionaries in Africa long before slavery. They were sent by the Roman Catholic Church to subdue the Africans, make them believe that when you get slapped, turn the other cheek, and that your riches are in heaven. So by the time they followed with the colonizers to reap and rape Africa, we were already brainwashed. We were meant to believe everything African was bad and undesirable, and everything European was better. And the same brainwashing continued as our children were taken out of Africa enslaved. It continued on the plantations color gradations, light-skinned versus dark-skinned, field workers versus kitchen workers. To this day, we suffer from the legacy of slavery and the legacy of colonization. For how long are we going to continue to suffer from this affliction? For it is singularly the reason why we are not able to come together just like other races and nationalities have done in this melting pot that is the United States of America. When you ask for the voices of the Irish Americans loud and clear, Jewish Americans loud and clear, German Americans, Italian Americans, Chinese Americans, Indian Americans, their voices are loud and clear. But when you ask for the voices of us black people, you might as well go to the graveyard because we are missing in action. We were taught, we were brainwashed into not even loving ourselves as individuals, let alone each other. We were taught not to trust one another. We were taught not to believe that my brother can, my sister can, but somebody else who doesn't look like you and I is better. The question I have for all of you, just close your eyes and think about your children, your grandchildren. Is this the world you want to leave behind for them? If the answer is no, then you need to have a serious conversation with the image in the mirror. Because it is the image in the mirror that must change. It is the image in the mirror that must understand that you are sick from this affliction of the legacy of slavery. You are not sick at home. You are not sick in the doctor's waiting room. You are not sick in the hospital ward. You are sick in the intensive care.
This speech is a passionate and unapologetic. It is a piercing reminder that Africa's problems are not rooted in a lack of resources or potential, but in the deliberate dismantling of its identity, unity, and agency by colonial forces, and in the failure of Africans, both on the continent and in the diaspora, to rise above that psychological warfare. At the heart of the message is the urgent need for African unity, not just political unity, but unity of mind, of purpose, of destiny. The reason Africa is exploited is simple. It remains fragmented. Its people are taught to mistrust one another, to divide by tribe, nation, language, skin tone. This manufactured disunity ensures that foreign powers can continue to plunder Africa's vast wealth with impunity, while Africans are too divided to collectively resist. What stands out most powerfully in the speech is the repeated exposure of historical and ongoing injustices. We are reminded that African resistance to colonization was fierce and widespread, but brutally suppressed. The remains of brave African leaders, actual human heads, still sit in European museums. Priceless African artifacts, stolen in times of war and conquest, are showcased in Western galleries, while Africans are made to pay to see what is rightfully theirs. Meanwhile, African voices on the global stage remain faint, scattered, or absent. In countries like the United States, other ethnic communities have organized, advocated, and demanded recognition and justice. Yet, the black voice, particularly the Pan-African voice, is drowned in silence, fractured by internalized division and self-doubt. And why? Because the greatest conquest of Africa wasn't the theft of land or resources, it was the conquest of the African mind. Colonialism didn't end with the lowering of European flags. It continues through education systems that glorify colonial civilization, religions that teach Africans to accept suffering as divine will, and media that paint Africa as hopeless, diseased, and dependent. This is a crisis of consciousness. We are not sick in the body, we are sick in the mind. And that is where the healing must begin. The solution offered is as clear as the diagnosis. Pan-Africanism. A global, organized, unified Pan-African movement. not driven by slogans, but by institutions, not scattered in emotion, but rooted in systems, reparations, economic sovereignty, cultural pride, and collective political will. It is a demand that Africans, wherever they are, wake up. That we stop supporting the systems that oppress us. That we stop outsourcing our liberation to others. That we build structures to reclaim what was stolen, repair what was broken, and reimagine what was possible. The call is not just for action. It is for reflection. It is for a deep, personal reckoning. Because change begins not with speeches, not even with protests, but with the image in the mirror. This is more than a speech. It is a Pan-African manifesto, a demand for dignity, a cry for justice, a fire lit in every listener to rise, mentally, spiritually, politically, and to unite. Because Africa's future will not be written by outsiders. It must be written by Africans, together.